So it's been proven to me that God is real. So is the devil. I cannot prove this to you, but I can share my experience. I used to drink a lot. Every day, every night. Whiskey, beer. I smoked too. Not just cigarettes, but almost 2 packs a day. A lot of things. I lived out in the country. And one night, as usual, I'm drunk. I decide to walk out into the middle of the cane fields, far away from anybody. And I sincerely challenged the devil to a fight. I said, show yourself in any form. I don't care. I thought that I could physically fight the devil. No animal came out of the woods and transformed. No voices, nothing like that. So I thought, well, he's scared of me, I guess, or something. Let's see. Within, I'd say around 9-10 days after that, within those 10 days after that night, the 2016 flood had taken my house, my truck, all my property, lawnmower, everything, ruined it. My girlfriend at the time stole from me. I found out that she had not only cheated on me at that time, but I did it more. She did things that I found out also that I don't even want to tell anybody. Disgusting. And I was going to lose my daughter because at that time in Louisiana, fathers never really had a chance, no matter how good they were. Kids always went to the mother. So my entire world was turned completely upside down within just a little over a week after that. Time went on for a little bit. I was fighting things left and right, trying to keep my composure and keep my stuff together while I was about to lose my daughter, who is my entire world. And I, again, kept drinking like a fool. Kept smoking, kept everything. Thought that I could just power through it. Well, ended up, I was going really slow. My daughter wanted to ride the dirt bike. We were just putt-putting through the fields. Nothing happened to the front tire, but the back tire hopped up and slid to the side. I threw her off the bike. Went through and through. Her lip was completely cut to where she needed stitches. Had the neighbors bring us. I didn't want another DWI, but I wouldn't quit drinking. Told them everything. They asked me if I was drinking. Yes. Are you wearing a helmet? No. Where were you? What were you doing? Very honest. All I cared about was, I kept asking, is my daughter okay? Is everything going to be okay? Meanwhile, my ex at the time had a boyfriend whose family was had a good bit of money, and they had hired her a very good attorney. This attorney was actually one that I wanted, that I couldn't afford. She was a very good attorney, and she was well known. And after I started figuring out that this was gonna be, my daughter was getting taken from me after this. There was no more, I had nothing, no leg left to stand on. This was the last straw. My daughter was gonna get taken and be raised by my ex and pretty much never see me again, just because that's how my ex at the time, she just wanted the child just to hurt me, essentially. So in that moment, I hit rock bottom. I was completely sober in that parking lot of that hospital. I made the most sincere promise to God that I've ever made in my life. I dropped to my knees and I told God that if He let me keep my daughter, I would never touch a drop of alcohol again. And I knew I thought it would be impossible. But I figured I was at rock bottom, why not try? So, it is still a miracle to this day that lawyer, they knew that my daughter had got stitches, that we had wrecked the bike, what hospital she went to. All the lawyer had to do was simply go and get the record, even make a phone call and get it faxed. And it is a miracle that did not happen. So, whenever I saw this, God kept His end of the promise, and I got to keep my daughter, who is my entire world. Since that day, I've never touched a drop of liquor, even whenever I got married to my wife, who I love so much. I'm terrified that if I ever was to take a sip of alcohol, not only would it turn me into the person that I used to be, but for some reason, I think that, I don't know, either it would end up killing me or killing my daughter, something very serious. It's a feeling that I have because of the oath that I felt that night. I never said that as part of a promise, but it's weird. It's like I don't know how to explain it. I just know that I'm never, ever going to touch a drop of alcohol again. And God has done other things for me, other miracles. I survived a car crash that should have killed me and the other person in the back seat of the convertible. We went through a fence. The top post took out the windshield and the headrest. After that, whenever we were airborne, hit a telephone pole. We should have impaled our heads, the medic said, on some glass. And I've been in lots of wrecks, done lots of stupid, dangerous things that have defied many things. But whenever I made that promise, and the fact that lawyer never called to get that information right after, and they knew about everything, it's really and truly a miracle. Since then, I slowly but surely have given my life more to God. Recently, especially since the thing with Charlie Kirk, it's kind of, I know America, all of my country is kind of like a Christian revival right now. Unfortunately, it took something like that to do it, but at least it's good to see everybody going to God. I try to work every day. You know, there are so many things in this world that try to take your attention and stress you out and weigh you down. And whenever I get worked up, it's hard sometimes. I work on it very often. I don't always win. But to be able to take a deep breath and realize that so many things are out of your control. You think you're in control, but you're not. It is good to take a deep breath for me and to realize the beauty in this world, the blessings that I do have instead of what I can't get or can't control. And I sincerely thank God every day, every morning and every night. And I try to teach that to my children. That's the most important thing in my life right now, is to make sure that my children not only believe in God, but that they have this sincere relationship with God. That feeling I don't get it all the time whenever I pray, but the times that I do, I don't want to let go of it. Um, I want my children to have that feeling, to have that relationship with God. Once you have that relationship and that trust with God, and you kind of you can let other things go that are weighing you down and dragging you down and stressing you out, and all this thing kind of tends to melt away sometimes, and it's a great feeling. I wish every day could be like that, but above all, I wish my children, I pray that they can feel that. Once you feel it, you know that it's real, and from there, I don't have to worry about it anymore, because they will chase it just like I do. I chase that feeling. I chase that relationship with God. I love Him very much. I'm extremely thankful. I do still sin. Uh, I'm not a perfect person in any way, but I do try my best to be the best person that I can be, and to, above all, do God's will. My will, anybody else's will is not important. God's will is the most important thing. Like I said, I know that He's real. I know the devil's real. I know that as a fact. Can't prove it to y'all. Can only tell my story. If y'all believe it, whatever. If not, whatever. But your soul is eternal. This life is temporary. Everything that you have, all the things that you stress about, all the stupid things that you think are in your control are actually pointless. Not pointless, but it's not worth that tension in your chest that you get from overwhelming stress and anxiety. It's you have to think about what's after this life, because you're not going to live forever. And science has proven that the soul has a weight. Matter cannot be created or destroyed. It has to go somewhere. Neuroscience, I believe it is, or physics, one of them, they call it the field. We call it heaven. The soul leaves the body. It has to go somewhere. The soul does have a weight. I don't need science to tell me that God's real. I know it, but I hope that other people can start thinking about what's after this and make that relationship with God and get their soul right and realize the beauty that we have around us before it's too late. That's my piece.